Hello, beautiful souls. Diane from Wisdom of the Akashics. I'm going to give you a little update of what happened today for me tonight, since I made the two videos that we made today. I put out a lot of really good energy about attracting what I want, clearing the field for my twin and I to come into union, cutting and severing from the lower energetic stuff, the past life, the programs. And on a day that's going on where we have the gateway, I really, kind of put it out to spirit that, I went this morning, I did a deep meditation about aligning with my twin, coming into alignment with my twin, seeing our heart chakras open to each other, and all of this stuff. And so tonight I was sitting on my lawn. I did see him pass by here a couple times today because he does that, going back and forth to work. But I don't usually see him in the evenings. And so I was outside. I was actually working and journaling and doing some stuff, working on some content that I'm putting together for a program. And I look up and I saw a truck across the road from me on the other side of the service road. And it was kind of had its back to me. And it had a big water tank in the back, which potentially, could be him because he lives out on an acreage and hauls in water. And so I started to go like, oh my God, like maybe that's him across the road. And so I just kind of kept doing what I was doing, but I went inside and I really spent some time, like, I was like, if that's you, that's over there. And he's just sitting there. I had asked the universe to bring us into alignment today. And I mean, we can do it energetically. I can do it in my meditation, but to get it physical alignment is, really the best thing. Yeah. And then certainly when they bring themselves into it. So I sat there and I was doing my work and I called up the energy of between us, and I did a chakra clearing because we share a soul chakra, and it's like the one soul, two body story. And so I brought the energy into that soul chakra while he was literally across the road from me. And at the time I wasn't absolutely sure it was him, but I thought it's everything that represents him. It's the water where he goes and gets his water, it's the white truck, it's and all of that. I didn't see him pull in there. And so I started clearing our chakras and creating an alignment through each and every one of our chakras. I released the energy down into the Mother Earth, as I talked about in the previous video today. Gave thanks and gratitude for that. And then I just felt this expansion of love in my heart. It was just like our hearts opened literally at the same time. And in the meantime, this is going on by the time that I noticed him there and that he pulled out of there, about 20 minutes passed. So it was quite a while. And I also asked the universe to give me an obvious sign, because I can't say that him driving by here it's like nice, but I also know this is a route that he takes to work and back. So I said, yesterday I actually said this. I said, because it was Father's Day and I knew the gateway was coming today. And I was like, I would love to be in alignment with him. Show me something obvious, like bring us together in an obvious way that can't be just confused with or just like a daily experience that we're already having. And so towards the end of this, and I was like, oh my God, that truck's been sitting there for the longest time. And that's so cool because in the meantime, I'm just sending out this energy and I can feel this love. I could feel the expansion. I saw him come to me and I said to him in my heart, I said, I love you so much. And he looked at me and in spirit, he said, you really do, don't you? And I said, yes, I really do. I really do. Regardless of what happens, this is the most expansive thing that's ever happened to me. And so then he took my hand and I saw us walk through the gateway, We went through this energetic gateway today again, which we went through together last time in a very visible way for me that time on April 22nd. And he took my hand and I literally saw the visualization of us walking through the gateway. And, and just that, it was just love. And so what I'm telling you this story for is that's what happens when you do your energetic work. He brought himself in alignment with me today. I asked for it. I prayed for it. I called it in. I did the energetic work around seeing it happen. And then it manifested. It manifested in front of me. And so when he pulled out of the waterway thing there, that's when I saw the emblem on his truck to know that it was him. Because up until then, I wasn't sure but I was willing to use him sitting there because I'm sitting on a lawn chair like here, and he's across the road like here. So it's literally, we were lined up. He was probably in a position where he could see back through his mirror and see me sitting in my chair out front of my house. And so then all of a sudden, actually, I saw him jump out of the truck. And he walked around the truck and he did something and, checked that the water thing was hooked up or whatever. And then he got back in the truck. And then when he drove away, I saw the emblem. And then he actually has to go around and get back on the highway. And then he passed in front of me. Don't give up, but do your work. Do the energetic work. Send out the energy of love. I've been at this for 2 days. Where I just felt so much love in my heart. And something else I did tonight is earlier today, I kind of decided, I thought, I'm going to delete all of our text messages that are on my phone. And I actually checked on it, Spirit, and I got no. And then I was like, oh, okay, why? And then it was like, you need to be clear on to why you're doing it. Because if I'm doing it out of any sort of frustration or, because he hasn't written back and I looked, the last few messages have been mine, not his. And I was like, okay, that's fair. That's fair because that's not coming from the energy of love. So I went and I made the videos and then I was sitting outside and I was like, no, the reason I'm doing it is today's a gateway. I want to start a new story. I want to write a new story today. I want us to have a fresh start when we walk through that gateway together, or when we meet at the gateway, or when we come across the gateway, or, trusting that at some level he is getting this stuff. I don't know what he's going to do one day when he sees these videos. But I was like, so then I checked again and I was like, so is it okay to delete them now? And then I got yes, a very clear yes, because I made a clear decision as to why I was doing it. I didn't have that clarity when I first just wanted to go delete. So here, not long before all this happened, I went in, and it's a little difficult for me to just delete all of our messages, because you go back to those things sometimes when you want to connect with them. And so I was like, no, this is a new day. It's a new story. It's a new doorway. There's been nothing but blessed energy over the last few days. I saw him a couple times yesterday, which is a Sunday, and I don't usually see him on Sunday. And so, and that was Father's Day, and I had been sending him, like I told you guys in the video, I wanted him to be loved. I wasn't about me loving him. It was about him being loved. That's what I wanted for him more than anything yesterday, is that it's somebody in his heart made him feel special, made him feel deserving, not that gave him a reason to feel worthy of the specialness of being a dad, because being a dad is very important to him. I know how much it means to him. And so I just prayed for that. And it wasn't looking for an outcome. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about him having to get that from me. It was just simply about wanting that for him. So that's what you call pure energy. That's energy of the heart. And so I'm going to leave the video now, but I did want to share the story with you because I want you to understand that that's what happens when we look at our own stuff, when we go into the energy of unconditional love. Because I was in gratitude for him today. I was in gratitude and unconditional love for him in the last 2 days. And then in the evening, a time where I never see him because he lives in the country, I don't see him in the evenings. So for him to come tonight in a gateway day and do that and be there and sit present across the road from me while I'm sending out all of this love, and then I feel the expansion, I feel the blessing. I literally felt our hearts energetically connect and touch tonight in that visualization when I was sending the love across the road to him. Him being just a representation of him at the time. So I just want you to know, stay true to your heart. Stay true to understanding that this is what like he will call them to come to us and find that clarity that they need. In actuality, and when you look at the scale, they can energetically measure the scale of emotions. Courage is actually lower than willingness. Courage is actually lower on the scale than willingness when they energetically test. I can't think of the book right now where you learn about that, but shame and blame are really at the bottom. I think love is 500, joy is 600, peace and harmony 700, 800. They go up there. Neutral is around 300. So willingness is actually, I was very, very interested in learning this recently because I've actually changed some of my prayer wording, because we have to be willing to allow these things to happen. We have to be willing to come into union. We have to be willing to let go of our stuff, willing to walk away from the relationships that we're no longer meant to be in, willing to allow trust to take place for this stuff to come forward. So if you want to use an affirmation, bring willingness into it for yourself and for them. And so God bless. Thank you. I hope this video has inspired you to, keep the energy out there. I'm tickled. I just was tickled. I was tickled that he brought himself into alignment with me while I'm energetically sitting out there after the day that I had and after the videos. And I actually saw him go by during the videos, which isn't a surprise because almost every time I do a video, I actually do see him go by. And because it is right out front here, it's not hard to do. But I thought he brought himself there. I didn't ask him to go there. I didn't say, anything. I just did it all energetically. And look at the blessing. Look at the blessing that came. I'm very happy. I consider that my obvious sign, my obvious confirmation, because that was very unusual experience. And that's what, when you want the universe to kind of step it up and give us something a little bit more to work with, especially if you just kind of run into them here or there, I say, well, show me something different this time. And so that's what I did. And I did this all in the last 48 hours. So anyways, I hope this has inspired you to stay true to your vision, stay true to your heart, call in that love in the highest divine way, be willing to work on your stuff, let it go, do the exercises that I talked about in the video earlier, the free tips and tools for you guys to use in your work, because these are the ones that I am doing. So if they're working for me, there's no reason that they won't work for you. God bless. Good night. Diane Lang, Wisdom of the Akashics.